You're in the Roots with Joshua Rieger, and I have Mr. and Mrs. Harbour here. They're the head coaches of track. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That
Thanks
is
for having
correct.
us, Josh.
If you don't mind, I have a couple questions. So the first one is, what is something that the team needs to work on as a whole?
As a whole, I would say we need to work on getting stronger and also putting in more time during the off season so we don't come in out of shape and then get injuries the first couple of weeks. That sets them back.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think maybe taking some opportunities in the off season to continue doing track, not just during track season, but we had a few kids who did sort of like an AAU style of track, and I think if more kids bought in, they would find the season more enjoyable. So maybe getting some more of that off season work as well.
Definitely. How are you going to make as coaches, how are you going to make the season more enjoyable? Because I know for football, it was a lot of grind. What are you trying to do to make it in track?
Well, that is a tough thing because you can only push the kids and make them run so much, jump so many times before they can start getting injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So we've incorporated more like fun games and team building activities during the week, and that seems to be helping. We've done that in cross country. It also helps with the team bonding and team chemistry because we have boys and girls on the team and all age groups. So not everybody, talks to each other during the day. So it's good to get them talking on a different level and developing friendships outside of school.
I think also on that was us trying to be more looking at kids and trying to get them the right type of events so they can be successful. I think with the numbers going up, we're a little more able to do that and just try to find what event we think a kid could be good at, encourage them to try it, and hopefully they can improve. And once they see that improvement, they'll enjoy the sport more.
Okay. What are some things that what does life look like in and outside of the season as head coaches?
Man, track is a little tough. There's so many events. So you're trying to place kids in events and then making sure they're not back-to-back events so they're not too tired, they have recovery time. That is definitely the hardest part when you have like 2 meets in a week and trying to make sure you're giving the kids their best chance to be successful and getting as many kids as you can into a meet.
Yeah.
And then the off-season too.
Yeah.
So in-season, off-season.
Yeah.
So that'd be the in-season
Yeah,
issues.
that would be in-season. Out of season, I would say just trying to recruit kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten a lot, like if we go to volleyball games or basketball games, seeing like, oh, you're a great athlete. I think that would fit. We could find something for you to do in track. Also, we've been doing a winter runners club, so we've been trying to keep the kids busy during the winter time and help them with strengthening and stuff. But given that both of us live together, we're constantly talking about what we can do to improve and areas that need our focus more on. So,
all right. So how do you manage your time with other coaches and players?
It can be tough, especially in track, because there are so many different events, and we are split up amongst the kids depending on what we coach. So I spend more of my time with jumpers. Kevin spends more of his time with distance. And it's hard to then get to know some of the other kids that you're not working with day to day. So during warm-ups and stuff, we try to, go over and talk a little bit with them and try to build a little bit of a bond with each kid.
Yeah, communication with our coaches. We're just very lucky. We have some very strong coaches. We communicate a lot through email during the school day to make sure who's going to be there, what our thoughts are, maybe even for the week on workouts. And we got very lucky. Like Lauren Broxman, who's our sprints coach, used to be the head coach. So she has a wealth of knowledge. So that's been very helpful. Just having people that support each other, respect each other as coaches, and can learn from each other has been huge for our program.
Definitely. A couple more questions. What are some expectations that you have for each individual player to improve?
So we spend a lot of time talking about PRs or your personal record or personal best. We try to really have the kids buy in on that and how important that is. So every kid, no matter what event it is, if there's a PR, that there should be excitement, there should be celebration for that. And I think more and more kids have bought in over the years, and they understand that, you know, this kid getting a PR, even though they maybe didn't take first in the event, is still very important. Mm-hmm. And we should be celebrating that as a group. So.
I agree. And then just helping kids, like he said before, to find the events that they can be successful in. And we do a lot of that the first couple of weeks of indoor season, and then we add a couple more events during the outdoor season, so we go over it again. We're not going to put you in something that we just throw you in because we need to fill a spot. We want you to actually enjoy it and to feel like you can do well. So that's part of it too.
All right, and last question. How do you enforce sportsmanship while being competitive at the same time?
That could be tough, depending on the event. I think a lot of times the distance kids by nature are they like to celebrate those accomplishments. They get to know each other from cross-country seasons, so it's a lot of times they're running against the same kids. So there's a lot of at the finish line congratulating each other on the effort, knowing that, hey, maybe you beat me today, but I beat you before. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mutual respect, I think. Sometimes the sprinters can struggle with that because it is a more aggressive run. You're busting out for that 100 meters, and it can be a little tougher on them sometimes to find that sportsmanship. But I think our kids have done a great job over the years of realizing that, you know, you could give your best that day and it just might not be enough, but that doesn't mean you don't congratulate the other teams for their successes.
Okay.
And I think a great thing about us having bigger numbers is that there is more competition within our team. So it's helped build the sportsmanship among us because they're having that friendly competition. So when we get outside of our arena here, it's kind of building on that. Like they know, like, all right, you had the better day, like you can build. But we also really try to foster that here as leaders too, that, you know, we're not putting people down, and we're always trying to build up, pick somebody at the end of a practice who worked hard, and just showcase that.
All right. Thank you, you guys.